Yo, what up, guys? This is Jalen.
And this is William.
And we are the
Claw Talk Podcast.
The Claw Talk Podcast. This is episode 1, the inaugural episode. Tell them what we're going to talk about today.
Today we're talking about 2020.
Sheesh.
2020 and the year so far. We're in what? We're in the middle of August.
The middle of August.
As we're recording this. So.
And I feel like we've lived so many years and it's only been 8 months.
It's crazy. I feel like
much has happened.
A couple years in one. Definitely might have taken a couple years off my lifespan.
For real, bro.
Thanks. So where do we start? So we're just gonna go through a list of everything that's happened, just reminisce on what's happening in the year, and talk about our experiences through the whole thing. And yeah. So I guess where do we start? January. What happened?
I know you know what happened. I know you know. We all know. We lost a great one. January 26, 2020. We lost the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant.
It's crazy.
That doesn't even sound right. Kobe was what, 41 years old?
Way too young.
Not only did we lose Kobe.
Young too soon.
Not only did we lose Kobe, we lost his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter, and what was it? I mean, how many? It was
There was a couple of families in the crash. Rest in peace to all the families.
Rest in peace, definitely.
Rest in peace to all the victims. Prayers out to those families. That was crazy. I feel like the world stopped. Like, I remember it just being so like solemn that day.
The whole day, like literally.
I forget how I got the news.
I think I was on Twitter. And at first, you see one tweet and somebody like R.I.P. Kobe. So I'm like, Kobe who? You know what I mean? Like, Kobe who? You mean
right.
R.I.P. Kobe? And then I started seeing more tweets, started flooding the timeline.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Kobe. So I'm like, at that point, I'm doing research, trying to figure out what happened, trying to see if it was real. Lo and behold, some, like a credible news source.
It came out in pieces. And I feel like the first, everyone was talking about it. I was just like, what? Like, woke up on a Sunday morning? I'm pretty sure
it was a Sunday.
Woke up on a Sunday morning, easy Sunday morning, just trying to relax. I think I was going to the gym, and then I start seeing the groans and the rumbles, and I think somebody must have posted in our group chat or something. And I looked on Twitter, and then I see the TMZ picture with like Kobe in a suit. Talk about like Kobe passes away at like 41 or something. Like, what?
Yeah, it was just.
It didn't look real. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is what we're on this year. Like,
right. And the year is like
this is what we're joking about.
Right, for real. The year just started, and like, that's like the first thing that we see.
It came out in pieces, so I think at first we got like Kobe passed away. No one knows how. No one knows what he was doing. Like, because Nipsey passed away a year before.
Right.
So we got the news kind of in a similar way. So I'm like, damn, did like he get in a car accident? Did he get shot?
Right.
Like, what happened? And then we start getting bits and pieces of the news. And then it's like, oh, he was in a helicopter crash and there was others involved.
It sounded like it was so hard to believe. Like, you wouldn't expect the Kobe Bryant to pass away in a helicopter crash. It just sounds like so fictional. Like, it sounds like not even trying to be funny. It sounds so made up. Like,
it sounded fake. Like, it sounded because a bunch of people post stuff like that all the time. Right. It's like you don't want to entertain.
Parody pages posting that kind of stuff. And then I don't know, and I feel like TMZ how do they find out?
I don't
know. Like they post stuff, before they like the families even like notified of.
Yeah. You see random videos of like helicopters spinning out that wasn't actually his. And
it was just I don't know.
Then you hear that Gianna was in the crash too, and like she passed away, and then I'm just like, bro, like
that just.
And then the other families were involved, and like there was like a bunch of people in the helicopter. I'm just like, dude, it was crazy. I felt like time stopped for me at that point. Yeah. Like
that was a very, very sad day, and it's crazy because like it wasn't just like we weren't the only ones that was sad. Like globally, it was just all around the world.
Everybody.
It was just a sad day all around the world.
There were no jokes said that day.
No, it just goes to show like the kind of impact that Kobe had on the world. Not only was he one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but he was like, a good person, a great person off the court as well.
Yeah.
Which is hard to find nowadays. And you can see the impact that he had on the world.
Yeah, I never even knew like how much of an impact he had on me. Like I'm a New York sports fan, so I like follow the Yankees and the Knicks, and the Giants. And so, I don't really like keep up with Kobe like that, but I know of him. I watch basketball, I keep up with the NBA, and it's like when he passed away, I got emotional. I was like, damn, like I felt like I lost like one of my heroes, and it never occurred to me like how much of an impact he had on my life. And so that happened. I was just like, damn, I was saying Kobe, like shooting in the trash cans, exactly. Like when I was little, like from a young age up until now.
And I don't think, that's never gonna that'll never end.
Yeah, his impact was everlasting, man. I felt I was really sad that day, man. It was just a sad time. He went way too early. I feel like he was starting like the second chapter,
definitely,
of his life. He just retired like a couple years beforehand. So
he was about to he was coaching his daughter,
getting into storytelling, doing like documentaries,
everything. Kobe was a jack of all trades.
And like his mentality too, that brand is just so strong, like, and powerful. And so inspirational, like the Mamba mentality and everything. Like
everybody knows what that is.
Yeah, that sucks. And then, so what else happened in January? We had was the World War III scare at that time too, or was that February? I think it was around the same time. We thought we were about to go into war. Get enlisted into Trump's military, like.
Yeah, I don't even want to speak on 45.
Yeah, that was a lot. Thinking that we're about to go into war and like stuff might pop off immediately.
Yeah.
Like, everything you were worried about that day or that week was like gonna end soon because something bigger or greater was gonna happen and like completely change like what you're doing day to day.
It's not how I expected 2020 to go.
No.
December 31st, 2019, I'm like 2020 is about to be
it's a new everyone's like new decade, exactly. Like new decade, fresh start.
2020 is about to be one of the greatest years of my life. And then January, in the beginning of January, that's when there was threats of World War III. It wasn't even we were 2 or 3 days into the new decade, and they were talking about
like, wow, this is what we're on,
dropping bombs and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, this is not what I imagined.
Yeah,
not at all.
And then what happened? February, March. March is when we got into coronavirus.
Oh wow, that's a whole nother.
That might be a whole pod episode in itself.
Literally,
we'll try to compact it.
Like coronavirus, let's start by saying that corona is literally ruining everything.
It's exposing a lot of stuff.
That as well, but we can't go outside.
That was tough. That was tough to start because it's just like, okay, now everybody shift your whole lifestyle all at once. Like,
in the blink of an eye.
Like, stay inside. Don't talk to anybody. Don't go outside.
Wear a mask. Like, let's talk about wearing
everything
a mask.
gets shut down. Everybody's getting shut down. Can't go to the park. At least it was like that for a couple weeks. But yeah, everyone thought like the airports are gonna shut down. Like nobody knew what was gonna happen.
So much uncertainty.
Yeah,
I don't like uncertainty. I like to know what I'm getting into. But
right.
this like, it seemed like, well, of course we didn't know what to do, and it seemed like officials and the government was kind of like
they were coming out with different rules every week,
right? Because it was brand new to them too.
Yeah, the Chinese virus,
right? It's crazy. I don't know. Corona, I don't know about y'all, but I like to travel.
Yeah, I think we were excited at first because like we're naturally introverts, so we're like, oh, stay inside all the time. Don't go to work.
Say less.
Working remote, I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm about this life. Like, right. and then
when you actually start when you actually start living it. It was cool. It was. I will say it was cool at first, but then
it's a good switch up.
Yeah, it was cool at first working from home. Like, oh, this is great, but like
after a couple months, it gets old.
Yeah, that's after a couple months, you're like, I'm ready to go outside and do stuff again.
Days turn into weeks. You don't remember what you did the past 6 days.
I'm about to say like every day feels the same. Especially during this pandemic, I wake up, I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. For real, like.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I think I had it, to be honest. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how to diagnose stuff, but like, I got sick. Me and my whole office got sick at, I think late February. So this is like right before coronavirus is a big thing. You hear like random news stories on CNN, like, oh, like there's a Chinese virus breakout, da da da. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And it was never serious. And I will admit, like, at first I was just like, oh, this is like propaganda. Like, right. They're using this to like distract us from stuff. Like,
nobody nobody really believed it at first.
It didn't get serious for me until like they started shutting down stuff.
Right.
Like NBA was like, okay, we're pausing the season. They had that game that they cut off on live TV.
Literally
like,
right in the middle of the game.
And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this is actually serious. Like,
right.
This is getting real. It's something we need to pay attention to. But yeah, I felt weird. Like, my whole office got sick. The guy next to me got sick. We were in like a quad. So there's like 4 desks in like one area. The guy next to me got sick. The guy behind me got sick. And then a week and a half later, I got sick. And it was weird because I just dropped dead on a random Friday. Like, I was completely fine. I was getting good sleep. I was eating right. And then halfway through the workday, I'm just like, I feel like shit. Like,
right.
I get home, I take a nap, and I'm like, I felt worse. I'm like, oh, this is bad. I'm actually sick. So I like sleep through like Friday and Saturday. I'm like having fever and like the chills, and I'm like sweating, and I'm like just trying to eat soup and recover. I sat on the couch for that whole weekend, and luckily I got better. I had to take a couple of days off, but like that definitely felt different because usually I get like a sore throat and then I'll pop a couple of vitamin C's or something and I'll be good like a day or two later. This was like different. So
I know a lot of people said that they think they had it, and this was before it was known as coronavirus.
Right.
So I know at one point, like doctors were calling it like a respiratory infection or something.
Right.
And I think it was something they had never seen before. So that was like what they came up with. A lot of people said that they felt the worst they've ever felt.
Yeah.
Like the highest fevers, terrible muscle aches, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was before it was known as coronavirus. So I feel like a lot of people did have it.
Mm.
But they just didn't know that's what it was. But now looking back on it, you're probably like, I definitely think I might have had it.
Have you gotten sick in that time period, like back to March or like February?
I haven't gotten sick.
Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah, for me, I didn't know because like everybody was making a big deal about the respiratory issues, but I have asthma.
Right.
So like every time I get sick, I can't breathe.
Right.
So it's like it was normal for me. So I don't know, but it's that if you're experiencing that for the first time, like I'm asthmatic, so I'm used to like dealing with respiratory issues sometimes. But like if that's the first time you're dealing with it, it's definitely a lot. But so yeah, that's March. Everything gets shut down. I actually came back home to Maryland, so I was like living in Seattle working. So I came back home to Maryland because we were like working remote. And just like spending time with family because it was scary at a certain point, like when the deaths started happening, like the first couple deaths, and it's like, oh, like
it's really like
you need to stay inside, stay with your families, like pray, like, and then I feel like over time it just like kind of, I don't know, all you heard about on the news was like the death tolls rising and like everybody getting sick, and it was just a scary time to go outside. You're like sanitizing your groceries, like not going anywhere, walking around with gloves before you fill up the car. Yeah, it was a lot. And then so March, April, May.
I don't think anything significant happened in April besides Corona still going on. As of today, mid-August, coronavirus is still a thing.
Yeah. We thought it was a 2 week thing. That's why I went home. I'm like, all right, vacation for 2 weeks. Like,
it should have been. But we don't like to. Americans don't like to listen. To things and stay inside. Yeah. They should have put us on complete lockdown.
Yeah.
I guarantee this whole pandemic would have been over by now. But I digress.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a touchy subject because like on one hand you don't want to tell anybody what to do. It's like you're a human being, you can make your own decisions, but it's like you can put a mask on for 10 minutes when you go to the grocery store without it's really not that bad.
It's not that hard of a concept.
And then you have the nurses in the hospitals wearing 3-4 masks and a whole hazmat suit for work, like 10-12 hours out of the day. You can't wear a mask for 10 minutes, literally 15 minutes.
And then it's not even so. The point of the mask is you want to protect yourself, but you also want to protect others as well. So when you don't wear a mask, it's kind of like inconsiderate of other people's health and safety as well.
Right. It's not about you at that point. It's like, let me do something for the greater good of millions of other people and to protect my family.
It makes sense. It only makes sense. Just so, with that being said, wear your mask, please.
Yes.
So we can go back outside. I would like to enjoy
socially distance.
I would like to enjoy my what's left of my youth. I would like to enjoy that, please. So.
I don't think. I mean, we got at least another year. I feel like because all the companies are coming out now, like June 2021. Like we're gonna be remote until then.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
We brought this upon ourselves. Yeah. Now you live and learn.
Yeah.
What else? What is next? Corona is still a thing. And amidst the pandemic, so in May we had the killing of George Floyd, which sparked global protests.
Yeah, the Ahmaud Arbery before that too, and then Breonna Taylor shortly after.
Yes, it seems like it's never ending.
So like, not only are we adjusting to like a new life and like new ways of living and working remote and not seeing people and being isolated, now like we have this whole racial issue just being exploded all over the country and like all these different protests going on, and like now I gotta fight for my freedom too.
Like I said, it's a whole global pandemic going on, and now I have to look over my shoulder when I go outside on top of this craziness.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. I just, and the crazy part about it to me was, we know this exists. Like, we're black males in America. We've dealt with racial issues and racism ourselves growing up in little ways, little microaggressions in school.
It's crazy. I was going to say, that's crazy. Like, looking back, as a kid, you probably just laugh it off. Like, oh, okay, you know.
You get numb to it. You get used to it. You have to.
Well, yeah, looking as an adult, you look back at it like, wow. I can't believe these people said these kind of things to me and stuff.
Yeah. And it's always so subtle. Like these little microaggressions that happen, you can never make a big deal out of it at the time because, like, oh, then you're that guy or you're that girl. Right. Like, oh, like, don't talk to them. Like, they're, like, super sensitive, da-da-da. Like, fight the power type people. And it's like, no, like, I really shouldn't have to deal with this at that time.
Right.
Like, so it's just a lot. But, like, those videos coming out and just seeing that now, it's like, we know it exists. We've seen the videos and the victims, like Trayvon Martin. Like,
it's been happening for so long.
Middle school, high school, we have all of these tragedies happening throughout our lives, and like we just get so hurt and struck by them each time, and it's just a little punch in the gut reminder, like, you're not equal in this country right now. So watch how you move, watch how you talk to certain people.
You have to.
And then with these videos coming out, it's like, now everyone's inside, everyone has more time to like view this stuff and like spend more time on like these injustices. And now you see like the outrage, like thousands, millions of people like protesting across the country. Like, it wasn't just in Atlanta, it was in Seattle, Portland, LA, like Texas. It was all over the place. And it was like, wow, this is crazy.
What was I gonna say? Oh, it's just like, yeah, so it's like when is it gonna end? I feel like we have the same conversations over and over again, and there's no change. So I don't know what, you know.
I really don't get it.
I mean,
like, having hate for another person and not knowing them at all, like, just based on chemicals and melanin in your skin.
That's literally,
which is based
off of literally all it is.
How where your ancestors lived and how much sun they got during the day determines like how much melanin you have in your skin.
That's literally all it is. Now you can't being a black person in general, you can't go buy a pack of Skittles and walk home. You can't jog. You can't. That one, I think that one hurt. Like, that one was like scary. That one kind of hurt. It didn't. Like, I don't know. I can't really compare them. That one hurt though because
it's not the microaggressions we're used to. That was literally like,
I'm just
back in the day. Like, we're gonna hunt you down in public in broad daylight.
I can't jog in my neighborhood. I'm not bothering anyone. I can't jog in my neighborhood and like without being bothered or killed.
Yeah, that one hit me pretty bad.
Because at that point, it's like, well, we know it could be any one of us at any time, but that one is just like, I can't, like, we like to run outside.
Yeah,
and then you got people trying to flip the script. The ones that killed him trying to flip the script and say he was suspicious. I'm jogging in my neighborhood.
It's self-defense too. When you run up on me in a pickup truck with shotguns and pistols, and you're scared.
Doesn't even make. I'm unarmed. And the whole thing is, every one of these people have been unarmed. Still, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
And my thing was like, so we're kind of used to that fight. Like, not that we're getting numb to it, but it's like you kind of have two options every time this stuff gets brought up and like put in your face. It's like, okay, let me be really vulnerable and like get really emotional about it and like really think about, you know, how I'm not equal in this country and like get really sad about it, or let me just put my guard up. Like, I can't be productive like this. I can't work like this. I can't go about my day like this. Let me just be numb to it and like try to just move on as best as I can. And it's like, at some point, I feel like that's why we've had the outrage we've had with these incidents, like, because everyone's just kind of tired of it. And we have the time to talk about it now. Everyone's inside, everyone's cooped up, frustrated about other things, and it's just like, and then there
well, you know, at some point there's going to be that, you know, this is going to be an incident or an event that just takes everything over the edge. And I think, like you were saying earlier, talking about meters, like,
yeah,
you know, it's always back and forth. But this one just took it over. I think George Floyd was a tipping point, because before George Floyd, there were so many incidents. And like I say, at what point is it going to stop? And then that one, I think, and that one was just very, like,
that was egregious.
Yeah, how do you kneel on someone's neck for 8 minutes? I can't even fathom. And you know, and then you know
the whole thing. People are recording you.
I'm getting ready. That's what I was going. And then you know that you're being recorded.
Telling you like to relax or calm down. Like, okay, like he was never. I've never seen someone who's losing their life so graciously ask, like, I can't breathe, like, please stop, please help me, please. Like, fight or flight, any normal human being would have had a much more, like, a bigger reaction, like, trying to, like, fight their way out or, like, something.
But you know, if you do that, then you're going to die anyway. You probably, at that point, you're going to get shot or something.
It's a lose-lose situation, like.
So, I don't know.
That was so bad.
You know you're being recorded, and yet you still, at that point, it's like, I feel like it's just no regard. There's no regard for human life. You're not we're not even human. We're not even viewed as humans at that point. Like, it's just no regard for human life. You're being recorded.
Mm.
It's just like, at that point, it's just like we're animals.
And then we have protests around the city, and of course, like, the media is like painting it as riots and all this other stuff, which there were some. Obviously, nothing is ever perfect, and 100% of the population isn't going to be doing the right thing. Of course, there's going to be that minute percentage that's like looting or like robbing or stuff like that. But that's what the media wants to focus on, instead of showing the hours of good footage we see on like social media and everything else of people like peacefully protesting and trying to make change and trying to make a difference in their neighborhoods. And like, and so they're fighting. We're protesting a couple things. We're protesting systemic racism. We're protesting racism, and we're protesting police brutality,
right?
Especially,
right.
And how do they respond to protests about police brutality?
With brutality.
with more police brutality.
Make it make sense.
Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I really don't get it. Like,
we could talk for hours about this.
I think there's hope though. Like, and I don't like that cliche saying of like, oh, like the younger generation, like they'll handle it, like I see the hope in them and da da da. Like, no, like everybody, we all gotta change it right now where you're at. Like, why are you?
We all have to do our, play our part.
Now, why are you giving the responsibility to someone else? Like, you can still make change where you're at right now.
Yeah, no matter what. Especially age doesn't matter.
Especially with it all starts with yourself. Like, and just questioning like who you are as a person, what you stand for, things you could change about yourself, and like how you treat others. And it's just like, if everyone did that, it would be easy. Yeah. But that's where you got to start. You got to start looking within yourself and being like, are there certain things I can change? Like, what do I value? How do I treat other people?
Well, there's a lot of ignorance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't know. I really don't know.
I feel like it comes at the end of the day. It comes down to like a couple values. Like you got to be rooted in love, empathy, and just like being able to appreciate differences in other people. Because like that's what makes the world beautiful. Like you can go to another country and experience another language and another culture that's completely different from yours, and like learn about other people and see like, oh, my way of how I grew up and like how I was raised and everything that's important to me isn't the same for somebody else. It could be completely different, and that's okay, and that's good. It keeps the world in balance. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I do have hope though. Like I went to 2 protests. We went to that one together in DC. Yeah. It does feel different this time. Like a lot of people are kind of like trying to save face. I feel like, you know, putting out ads or like policies and like we stand with Black Lives Matter and stuff.
We'll see.
And it may be for show, and they may be just like doing that just for the publicity. But I feel like in general, the majority of people our age, people a little bit older than us, everyone younger than us, they are seeing everything that we've seen from Trayvon Martin up till now, and everyone before that, going back to Emmett Till. And it's just like, we know that this needs to stop.
Yep.
And we know this needs to change, and we're willing to recognize each other's differences and like come together as one.
That's like I think like I was saying about that tipping point, because we know it's happening, but now I think now is when we're like, we have to, you know, we have to make change. Mm-hmm. And at some point, you know, I don't know, Black people we're always nice, but now we have to be, at some point you have to, like, peaceful protest is cool. At some point you have to do more, you know, you have to do more. Like, sometimes you don't have to be, you know, you can't be that peaceful. There has to be, like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah, you can't just willingly be stepped on, and like eventually there comes a tipping point, a breaking point. Like you can't just
now we're demanding change, and we're not going to stop.
It's not taboo to talk about racism in the office. Like we can address these things right now as they're happening. Like this is not something I have to like shelter in and like only talk to my friends about.
It's not going to stop. Yeah, it's not going to stop until, you know, change actually happens.
Yeah. I have hope though. The energy at those protests were good. Like you saw all different kinds of people out there, white, Black, brown, Hispanic, Asian. So it's definitely. I feel like we're in a good place. I think it's definitely going to be slow change though, because we have to move the old culture and the old regime like out of America's culture. Like that's like deeply embedded and like rooted in our country right now, whether people want to recognize it or not. And I think it's getting exposed now, and a lot of people are seeing that this is true. Like we don't live in some like happy merry-go-round place. Like racism does exist. We do experience it a lot on a daily basis for some of us, and some of us are, you know, less equipped to handle those difficulties than others, and you're seeing the results of that. So, but I feel like there's hope. We need to vote. We need to be active in local elections. This is not something for like adults. Like everyone over 18 should be involved in their communities. We should all hold each other accountable.
Definitely.
Tell your friends to go vote.
Right.
Go to protests. Sign petitions.
It starts with us.
Hold people accountable.
Internal.
Support Black businesses.
Yep.
Yeah. The list goes on.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was a lot. And
like
it's always going to be a lot.
Hey, I was going to say, we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
What's next?
I don't think it gets any better. It's just it kept getting worse as the year went on. So I don't know. We had some funny stuff in between then. I think what was it? had Tiger King in March when the
Tiger King.
when the quarantine started. That was a wild documentary. Did you watch that whole thing?
So I think I've fallen asleep on it multiple times. My thing is like I'll turn something on.
You fell asleep?
Yo, I turn something on. Like it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when I cut it on. So I cut it on. I'm like, "Babe, I'm about to watch this." 5 minutes later, I'm out.
That's a no go.
So I watched a couple episodes, but I really don't remember the ending.
I watched the whole thing, and it was like, it was just something random. Like I watched it before the hype was around it. It was like number 1 or 2 on Netflix. I was just like, oh, like let's watch this, like a new documentary.
Right.
And it was like, this shit is wild. Yeah. Like what is going on?
Right.
And each episode started to get worse and worse. It was like, all right, it can't get any crazier than this. Like, and then the next episode, boom, they start up the news. Like,
right.
And then good old Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Did you see the episodes, like them talking about that investigation and like her husband and everything, and like
I think I did.
How she allegedly killed her husband.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah, you think she's guilty or no?
Yes.
That would be an understatement. Like,
absolutely.
How he was. That husband, I'm pretty sure he had money going into that relationship.
Yeah.
Like, he was already, like, a wealthy person, so there wasn't anything he could have got out of, being in that environment. So it's like, why would he just disappear off the face of the planet?
Into thin air. It only makes sense.
I think the way they tried to clean it up, because her relatives were like in the police force and stuff. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's tampering
well connected
somewhere.
Well connected.
They said like
looking out for her.
He took like a plane to like his lover in like Costa Rica or something, and like drowned in the middle of the ocean from a plane crash.
That's so like, convenient.
It doesn't make any sense.
So convenient.
Yeah. Tiger King, what else? Anything else interesting, Ivan? It's all a blur, honestly.
Like I said, I feel like I've lived, like, it's only August, and I feel like 2020.
Tiger King and that shit feels like a year ago.
Right.
Like 2 years ago.
That was literally earlier this year.
Couple months.
Everything is running together.
And I think after the, the major media coverage about the protests and stuff, and then we start like bleeding into like July and August, I think our cases were going down for a while, like
corona cases.
Yeah, I feel like everyone initially did a good job because we were scared of dying.
Right.
So like everyone stayed inside. Well, not everyone, but I feel like a majority of people stayed inside, wore masks and everything, and then numbers started to go down. The media stopped like ringing the bells about it, and
well, I think so that's because everything for the most part was shut down, but then they started gradually reopening.
Exactly.
Things, and then cases started to gradually rise again.
Yeah. Like everyone started to open back up. Some states never closed, but some started to open back up. I think Florida was like one of the first states to like start opening back up again, and like, oh yeah, we're opening up the beaches and da and everyone's like what?
A day later, in the news, they're like, Florida 500 new coronavirus.
And now we're
like, what did you expect?
Now we're in the middle of August. All these states, especially like some of the southern states, have opened up and like started reopening, and now the cases are spiking again. And like meanwhile, it's like a meme or a joke now. Like America is like the sucky place to be. Like we look at all the other countries, we can't travel anywhere.
Right, they're running around freely, walking around, no coronavirus.
Right, like
in sight, walking around mask free.
I saw something like New Zealand had like 100 days of like no new cases or something like that the other day. Like
that could have been us.
Public sports is happening again. Like they having concerts in other places. Like, now
meanwhile,
the U.S., we can't travel anywhere.
Right, can't travel.
Our cases are exponentially spiking. Like, the curve is just like shooting way up, and everything's getting worse again. And school is about to start now. Now they're talking about like reopening schools and going back, and it's like,
I don't think that's the best idea. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a long journey for us. I feel like.
Welcome to the new normal.
The one thing I hope for out of this whole situation is just that remote work is permanent. Cause like,
I've been saying I'm not going back to work.
Like, remote work is great. I feel like a majority of people would like it if they could like go outside and do something afterwards. If you could go to the bar with your friends, if you could go to your friend's house freely, or you go visit your family. Right now, we can't do that. We got to work at home and then stay at home. And so after, this coronavirus situation dies down and we can like, whenever we can freely go outside without masks, it's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be better if we can still work from home from then. Like, businesses have a good incentive too. Like, you don't have to pay for these expensive buildings to have us in and have all this maintenance. Like, we clearly can get the same amount of work done. That's what
I'm saying. I'm like, production, working. I feel like productivity has either, has remained the same or has gone up.
Right.
Honestly,
I don't have
nobody. Like, people are you're at home. You're still doing work. It's not like you're home pretending to do work.
Focused.
Right.
I don't have one of my coworkers like bothering me, trying to talk about random stuff when I have my headphones in.
Right.
Like, yeah. Hopefully remote work is permanent after that.
Yep.
But yeah. What else?
Anything?
Mid-August.
That's where we're at now.
We got that thing with Ellen. You want to talk about Ellen? That's crazy.
Well, yeah, Ellen, like, I don't know. I used to, like, as soon as I got home from school, I used to run in the house so me and my mom and I could watch Ellen. That's how I like Ellen a lot.
Yeah. So that story hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt a lot.
Because it's like you really, like, you think you... So we are on the outside looking in. You really think you know somebody. Mm-hmm. Not really know them, but like just from what they do, their appearance or whatever, they seem like one of the coolest, one of the best people.
And she was so charitable. Like every episode, trying to help somebody, trying to give back in some way.
I wanted to go to She had like 12 days of giveaways on Christmas. Like around Christmas time, I wanted to go there so bad. I'm like, let me win. I need some money. I need something.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. I didn't read into the situation fully, so I don't know what exactly is going on. I heard like the toxic workplace and like a lot of malpractice and just like a lot of bad things going on culturally and like people being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to hear because she's like a saint. Like out of everyone you think of, like there are a couple people we think of in like pop culture that like, oh, like that person is like an angel. Like I wouldn't dare say anything bad about that person. I couldn't wait to meet that person in person. Right. Like Tim Tebow is somebody that comes to mind. Like imagine if like news comes out tomorrow that like Tim Tebow is like doing something like super bad or toxic, and it's just like
you're like, what do like I don't even know what to believe anymore.
That's one thing I feel like is like a big takeaway. Like we idolize. Sometimes, in a lot of people's cases, they worship some of these celebrities and like public figures, and it's like,
which, let's say, side note, I don't get that the obsession with celebrities' lives, but we can save that for another time.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But it's like we think we know these people, we see them on TV every day, or we see them often, or we listen to their music, or we see their art, and it's just like. We really don't know them at all. Like,
we know, so we know like what they want us to know or what they want to put out, but really you don't really know somebody until you get around them and start, hearing what they have to say, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's difficult because like we're human. At the end of the day, we want people to look up to. We want our superheroes. We want our athletes. We want to look up to our celebrities that we like and follow, and like they make art or entertainment that's meaningful to us and like helps us get us through our day. But it's like I feel like we're coming into a shift now where we have to question everything. We have to not just like solely believe in the image that people are portraying and everything that they're doing. So I feel like we just gotta be cautious of what we do and not put too much weight into people's personalities and like being obsessed with people and their personas and
you never really know someone.
that one hurt. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, recently.
That's very recent. So
yeah,
this is what's today? August 16.
Yeah,
August 16, 2020.
As we're recording.
I think we pretty much covered most of the craziness that's happened this year.
Yeah. All the major ones, at least. We've missed a lot, probably. There was stuff happening every day. It seemed like
it's always something going on. So we need y'all to let us know.
Yeah.
Thoughts, whatever you think, whatever we missed, comments on anything that we talked about in this episode.
Do you think it's gonna get worse? Like we're halfway through the year.
I think there's going to be a second wave of coronavirus. Mm-hmm. It's the summertime and kind of chilling.
I think we have the second wave now. It might be the third.
It's about to, I mean, it's going to be like, it's going to be extreme, I think. Yeah. It's going to be extreme like the first time.
Especially if these schools open up.
Coming, like the fall and winter time where it's like flu season. Mm. Like how people are going to, how do you know? You're like, I got the flu. Whole time you got coronavirus 2.0. Like
that thing's probably mutating among the population and turning into something else.
So
I don't know if anything else crazy is gonna happen though. Like
I honestly
hope not.
Right. I really what else can happen at this point?
Yeah, hopefully the NBA season finishes and the bubble will have that. I don't know what's gonna happen to the NFL. We need some sort of entertainment. The UFC, I don't know if you watch any of the UFC pay-per-views, but like they've been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. But I don't really watch fighting like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully nothing else crazy happens in 2020. Hopefully coronavirus dies down. We get a hold of ourselves. We can make legislative change in our country, in our local offices.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can be allowed in other countries, start traveling, have a vacation.
That's what I really want.
Yeah.
I want to be on somebody's beach with my toes in the sand. For real. The see-through blue water.
I haven't had a vacation all year, bro. I need one.
I need one bad.
Just been grinding all year.
If anybody trying to go on a vacation, let me
know. And that's the plug right there.
Try to go on a vacation, get at me.
Yeah, anyway. That's 2020 so far. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. But yeah.
Just like I was saying,
that wraps it up. Episode 1.
Let us know what you think. Comments, questions, concerns. Let us know.
Comment, like, subscribe, follow.
Everything.
DM, email, send us some feedback.
Get at us.
Anybody that wants to share their opinions or give us ideas for future topics for podcasts or anything, let us know. Definitely open to having guests on the podcast too.
Most definitely. Let's network.
Let's
collab.
We'll plan that out. Try to bring different things to you guys. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on all listening platforms and all social media at Cloth Talk Pod. You can follow me at Memo the Maestro on all social media, and you can follow Jalen at JCB627 on all social media.